happy Easter. So I hope you had a nice holiday. I'm back. We're now in the third week of, is it third week? Third week of April. Wow, beginning to, things are chugging along. So it's actually fourth quarter, I believe, is coming along. So we've got the home stretch. Anyway, so it's springtime. Weather's good. We want to be outside. Also a good time for spring cleaning. Now, I thought this week, what we'll do is we're going to clean the refrigerator. Now, the one we have at school, as you can see here, is a little different to the one you're going to have at home. However, still applies that there are going to be things in there that have gone past sale-by dates that you may want to throw out. So, what's a good thing about doing things like this is it allows you to take stock of what you have in the refrigerator and also in your freezer. So, what you can do is you can start looking through things you have in your fridge or your freezer, and you can find those mystery meats that are frozen. Perhaps what you can do, talk to your parents, take them out, and then you can thaw them out and you can make some food out of it. And the advantage of doing a spring clean of your fridge and freezer is you get to see what you have in stock. And then from there, you can go and add things and hopefully save some money, save some time, and you can clean your fridge, make it hygienic, make it nice and clean, as well as know what the stock is. So, this is what I have in here. Best detergent, you know the deal, guys. Hot soapy water. I won't put any bleach in it, anything like that. Make it as hot as you can tolerate. Now, I have a bus tray here. That bus tray is what I'm going to put the items in the refrigerator with. So you won't have to do that. You can just put them on a counter. Okay? So what you want to do is take everything out, and then you can wipe all those things down, clean the fridge, and then restack it, and you get to know what is in your fridge. All right, here we go. Okay, so here we are. Right, first thing I'm going to do, let's remove what's in the fridge. All right, we're going to take this out. That's the first thing. Now, you can use your counter for this, but I'm going to take whatever we have in here, and I'm going to take it out. Okay, so here's the next part of this puzzle here. Now, most of you won't have a fridge like this. So it's a little different to our residential refrigerators. Nevertheless, we're going to have parts in here that you can take off. Now, I've got fridge thermometers. You guys won't have these in your home. Your fridge will usually have that. Now, there's a couple of things I want to be really clear with. When you start removing parts of your fridge, you make sure that you are talking with your parents and working with your mum and your dad so you can help do this. Because what I don't want you to do, take away parts, take some trays, crisper trays, shelving, things like that, and you break it, you don't know how to put it back. So you need to be very mindful of this part. All right, so when you're taking part, you need to know how to put it back together. So what I'm going to do is I'm now going to remove some parts of this fridge. Now for me, it's shelving, and you can see I've got bits of food in here, things like that, grossness, nasty, mank, but we want to get rid of. We want a nice clean fridge. All right, that's what we want, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this out. And again, I'd like to reiterate, talk to your parents. This is what I want to do. Let me see if I can clean the fridge. And then you can go ahead and do that, okay? Where you go. So as you can see now, I've got my sink running of hot soapy water. You guys would do the same with your kitchen sink. You'd want to run it with hot soapy water, get everything all organized, ready for this job. Okay, so you guys, you would have your sink full of hot water, and you'd have like crisper trays, things like that. You'd have that all organized on a counter, ready to be washed. Okay, so while I would do that first, you can do it second, whatever you want to do. But again, I want to emphasize, make sure you know exactly you've got a plan before you go in there. All right, we don't want you to break things. We want to be a help here. Okay, so let's make sure that, you spoke to your parents, you know exactly, this is going to be the deal of what you're going to do today. All right, so now I'm going to go clean those shelves. All right, so the next part, so we've got the sink going. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take some of the, I'm gonna use my bus tray. You might, if you don't, you won't have a bus tray. So what you can do is you can take containers over to the sink and you can just give them a little wipe down. So, you know, I've got some soy sauce, ketchup bottles, things like that. Just make sure, you know, if there's any residual, you know, food on the top of the lid of your ketchup or whatever, just give it a wipe down and make sure it's all nice and clean. Okay, I'm gonna have a seat for this because my elves, you, are not here. You guys always do a stunning job of cleaning when we get to clean. So anyway, we're gonna clean this fridge, continue with this. Little tool here, toothbrush, okay? Now I have another one in there for my teeth. This one here, okay? But these are super handy little tools to have in the kitchen. Gets in the nooks and crannies. So you want this spotless. Again, hot soapy water. Don't need any bleach, nothing like that. Hot soapy water works a treat. All right, so I'm gonna open this up and I'm getting in here now. Please don't use copious amounts of water. You don't need to, okay? You do not need to. So all I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna wring this out. I'm gonna start from the top and I'm gonna start wiping this down. All right, got a little bit of Windex on here. So I'm just gonna finish this up. All this has been, all the trays in your case would be crisper drawers and everything's been wiped down and it's all nice and tidy. And now we just put it back together. Okay, so everything's now ready to be put back together and I want to put everything away. You'll probably have, I know my fridge at home, I have a whole bunch of like condiments and things like that that have expired. So you usually find yourself having a lot more room, better organized, job well done. So that took me 45 minutes, if that. So 45 minutes with what we've got going on right now, got lots of time. So this will be something that your household will greatly appreciate. Organized, clean, spotless fridge. Now we can go and cook our next thing. I'm going to show you some pizza dough. Super easy, and we'll get on to doing that, and that will be this week's spring purge and cooking recipe. There you go, guys, look at that, pizza dough. See that? 250 grams of flour, 180 mils of cold water, 5 grams yeast, 5 grams salt, and 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Those 5 grams of yeast and salt are roughly around 1 teaspoon to 3/4 of a teaspoon. So that is the recipe. Now let's put it together and make some pizza dough. So now when we're going to do pizza, grade 7s usually have that at the end of their quarter, and then the grade 8s, we usually get to do that. We do it at the beginning, same with the grade 9s. Super easy recipe. I gave it to you. 250 grams of strong flour. So let's measure this to see how it is with cups. Make sure we tear this 0. Very good. Right, so 1 cup of flour. 177 that is. So I suggest we're probably going to be about 1.5 cups. I'm going to guesstimate. So this is more like 2/3. But let's have a look. 250 grams. Chef, nice work. Oof, yowza, perfect. Right, so 250 grams, which was 1 cup, 1 2/3 of a cup of flour. Okay, 250 grams. Now, 5 grams of yeast. Hopefully you found your yeast. And when you find it, buy a lot. I wonder if Amazon has it. Anyway, here we are. So this is a teaspoon, a level teaspoon of yeast. Let's see if this is 5 grams. I say it's not enough. I'm going to make it a full one. There we go. So now I've got a heaped teaspoon of yeast. 5 grams I want it to be. Oh, perfect. Can't live with myself right now. Whoa. Now, we're going to go about 3/4 of a cup. Sorry, 3/4 of a cup. 3/4 of a teaspoon. 3/4 of a teaspoon, chef. Get it together on one side. Oh my gosh. A little under. All right, there we go. Perfect. So, we've got it on one side, one on the other. Give it a little mixy. Perfect. Make it well. Now, a couple of things you need to think about is that we're going to make one pizza. So, like, this would be good for me and me alone. No, this would be good for like 2 people. Possibly 3. And what's great about pizza is it's always good. It freezes really well. It's dough. I personally really enjoy it with just a basic salad and a vinaigrette. Okay. Now, olive oil, 2 tablespoons. Why am I doing that? Shame on me, chef. 2 tablespoons. Okay, and this is 200 mils. The recipe calls for 180 mils of cold water. We measure. You want to get down and measure so you can see. I'm about 210, so I'm not going to quite add this all. But for whatever reason, it seems to work better when you add it all together. Now, I've got everything here. This is a big bowl. I'm going to keep it in here. Why? Because I don't want to have any mess. So, let's go back to how much you could make. Now, if you doubled the recipe, right, you'd be 500 and 360 of liquid, 10 and 10 of salt and yeast. Right, remember, like the focaccia bread, you want this fairly wet. You don't want it a dry dough. This is going to be kind of like the thin crust Italian thing, you know. You know how we like it, guys, right? So this one here is a little sticky. That's okay. I'm going to add a little bit of oil, okay? And I'm just going to start to knead this into a nice dough, okay? I'm going to knead this into a nice dough. It's a little sticky. I'm just going to get a little fraction of, just a fraction. I'm going to put that on the side. Remember, we don't want to be adding this to here, making a huge mess like that. Just going to put a little bit in here, and I'm going to bring this in here like this. Okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring this, just going to incorporate a little bit of flour, but I don't want to incorporate too much. Remember, it's always easier to add than take away. So, there we are. And I'm going to bring this together. I'm going to get kneady. Now, there we are. Let's make a little bit more. Notice this hand here is a mess. I'm going to get this off now. Kind of rub it together. Get all my little bits and pieces off here. That's it. Nice. Oh, here it comes. There it comes. There we are. There we are. Right. There we are. Good. So there's my pizza dough. Right, now I'm going to knead it. Remember, when you knead, use the heel of your hands right in here. Okay? You want to give that a good going over. Now, we are going to show you, I'm going to show you how to make focaccia bread in a couple of weeks. You're going to love it. We're going to make a lot of it. You're going to make 3 loaves. Right, now, so here we are. That's perfect. Notice it's not sticking to anything now. I'm not going to use any more flour. Now I'm just going to keep kneading this. Just like this. Beauty. Okay? Just going to keep kneading it. I want it soft and supple. Let me hear it. Yeah, perfect. All right, so we want this to be soft and supple. We don't want it like really leathery and like hard. All right, nice, soft, supple pizza dough. Okay, nice. It's not sticky. It's kind of sticking, but it's not. That's what we want. That's nice and soft. It still is lumpy, so I'm going to be kneading this for about another 5 minutes. So if you've got a family of 5, I would do twice the recipe. And if I was ambitious, you know what I'd do? If I had little brothers and sisters, or big brothers and sisters, or mum and dad, I would build a batch of it. I'd make a kilo. I'd make a kilo, divide it into 4, and then freeze it. Okay? And you can see I have bags of this already frozen. And it works like a charm. Take it out, put it in the fridge for the following day, and you've got instant pizza. Okay? So, here we are. There we are. This is coming together now. Perfect. Beautiful. Beautiful. How long did that take? 5 minutes maybe? All right. So like I said, a kilo. So you have to times everything by 4. So let me think, what would that be? That would be a kilo of flour. That would be what? 720 grams of, milliliters of water. That would be 20 grams of yeast, 20 grams of salt, and it would be 4 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. And there you go, and you'd have your pizza dough. Right, tickety boo. Now, as you remember this here. Okay, I'm going to put this in here, and what I'll do is I'm going to tie this in the top, just like that. Put it in the fridge. Whoop. Put it in the fridge, and you can use it the next day, 2 days, whatever, or you can freeze it. It will proof, and then what we've got to do is we've got to shape it, put some tomato sauce on it, do some stuff to it, put some cheese on it, put it in the hot oven, have a salad, et voila.